Hello everybody, welcome back. I've got yet another walkthrough for you. This time we're playing Final Fantasy VI, and this is the Pixel Remaster version of the game. I did a dual commentary with one of my buddies. Oh boy, it's been quite a few years now, and had a lot of fun with that one. The only thing was I didn't really like the audio. The program that I used to kind of do dual mics was pretty, low quality, and so I wasn't really happy with how the audio turned out, like just in general. So this time I've got some upgrades since then, and so I think that this'll be hopefully I'll be a lot more happy with this one this time around. So I'm gonna do a very similar playthrough style as I did with the last one, maybe even a little bit more, I suppose, intense. I've been, and what I mean by that is I've been doing a lot of like Veldt manipulation and pack manipulation. I'll also assume that you've probably played this game now. Maybe I shouldn't, but I don't know how many people are going to be watching a playthrough like this that have never played the game before. But hey, I'll try to also keep the newer players in mind. So yeah. Great story. I love Final Fantasy VI. This is actually the very first RPG I ever played. Was the Super Nintendo version. So that should give you a little bit of a question of how old I think I was, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11, something like that when I played for the first time. At least that's my estimation. So this one again, this is going to be more of we're going to do perfect stats. And along with perfect stats goes kind of like a low level playthrough, or at least to some extent. It's not going to be a true, like level as little as you possibly can. Although, again, that's how it kind of turns out for quite some time. So obviously, just starting here, Terra and Biggs and Wedge here. One of the, I think it's. Was it Biggs? Yeah, Biggs' name got changed, which I don't really know why they did that. It used to be Vix back in the day. Again, not really sure why they've done a lot of name changes over the years, and I'll be honest, it actually really annoys me because it makes it so that looking up information is a little cumbersome, here and there, because you have to try to keep all the different names straight, right, and how they what they've changed. So I'm not wild about that aspect, and it just feels like every single version they rename something, and I don't know, it's obnoxious, but it is what it is. Now, one thing that I actually thought was really lame was they took out the FMV or the the little sequences, they kind of look like movies. And so that's not in this one. I'm not sure why they did that. Those kind of sequences for the PlayStation version were really cool, but they took out the credits here while we're walking our Magitech armor here towards Narsh. Not sure why they did that either. I thought that was really cool, and it was. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, again, weird changes that I don't really understand why they did, but yeah, so anyways, I think, this one's going to be, again, a little bit more intense than the previous walkthrough I did with the Veldt manipulation. I'll at least say that it can get really frustrating too, so I really actually don't recommend this to anybody that isn't really familiar with the game really well. Again, I'll try to at least point out. So yeah, I mean, just the perfect stats is definitely not for your like a more casual player. And the reality is you don't need to do this at all. I mean, you could probably level all the way up. And I guess I should let me back up. The reason why we do this anyway is because at a certain point in the game, we'll still start gaining espers, and espers give you additional stats when you level while they are equipped. So, at the end of the day, your characters will be a lot more powerful than they normally would had you not done this. But it is unnecessary. You don't need to, I mean, I think you can, you'll be able to make it all the way through the game with literally no problems at all if you forego the process altogether. It's more of a, for me, it's more of an OCD thing. So here I move Biggs and Wedge into the back row. I left Terra up in front because I actually want her to take more damage, right? Because I'm going to try to kill her off here. The idea here is that we just take no experience whatsoever. So most of the battles we'll be running away from, but there are some battles that are forced, like these battles here. And if Terra is alive, you will gain experience, and we don't want to do that. So what I end up doing here is actually just I use her own fire spell on her eventually, I believe. I think, I don't know what I was doing here, just waiting around hoping that these guys would target her, but they weren't even doing that. I think I was a little bit more, I was a little worried about conserving her mana, and you don't need to do that. It's not going to be a problem. So now that she's knocked out, we can get to work here on these guards. And yeah, so like I said, it's better to just kill her off immediately, and then that way we can just level with Biggs and Wedge, and not have to worry about absorbing any experience on Terra. One interesting thing that I noticed that they've changed here is that in previous iterations of the game, oftentimes they would do what it's generally known as is level re-averaging, which means that it's usually when somebody leaves your party and then rejoins later. That happens to a couple of characters early on here in the World of Balance, and in the previous iterations of the game, when characters were re-averaged, any experience that they gained was basically zeroed out, as if they had never gained that experience at all. That is not the case with this game. It appears to be that any experience gains on specific characters is carried over even after a level re-average happens. So that means that let's just say let's say we gain 100 experience on Terra right now. Later on in the game, she's going to get re-averaged, and her level will be re-averaged to 5. Which is actually a little bit lower than it was, again, in previous iterations of the game. Normally she would get re-averaged for the first time at level 6 because there was just no way to get it lower, like your party average lower. That's not quite the case in this one. We've found some interesting things that they've changed that allows us to bring that level average down. But again, normally, she'd re-average to 6, but here she re-averages to 5. But the problem is any experience that we've grabbed on her. Again, if you let's just say we get 100 experience on her, well, that won't level her from level 3 to level 4 right now because she needs 112. But that experience will be carried over, when she gets re-averaged at 5. So that would mean that she would need, because I think going from 5 to 6 is like what, 270 something, and so if you carry that 100 experience over, well, then she will only need 100 and again like 76 experience. Actually, let me check here. Nope, I'm sorry, 272 level or experience to go from level 5 to 6. So again, if you absorb 100 experience on her after she is re-leveled, re-averaged, to 5, you will only need then 172 experience to go from 5 to 6. I'm not really sure why they did that, or what, if that was an error or if that was done, on purpose. I'm not really sure, but unfortunately, you can't count then on your experience being kind of zeroed out again. Does that affect things that much? Not really, honestly. If you do things right and we're gonna kind of work around that. So that's okay. And I think knowing that is hopefully will help some people that are confused about these changes that have been made. So let's just keep on heading in here. I'm sorry, I'm not doing a whole lot of storyline stuff here because I'm talking more about the overview of this walkthrough. But here, obviously, the story is that Terra here is under the control of the Empire, and Biggs and Wedge spell that out for us when we're kind of like overlooking the city of Narsh. And yeah, so we're kind of she's being controlled, and she's obviously very powerful. I think I think Biggs and Wedge even point out that she like fried what it was like 50 Magitech soldiers. One thing that I want to point out here though is this is where you can get into your first random encounters. There's a battle here with I think it's the now I'm not going to remember the name of it. But it's a little guy that I think he throws wrenches, and then it's like a spritzer or something like that. The battle's going to come up again here when Terra's on her own. But I would just say don't worry too much about manipulating these Veldts. Now, I know a lot of people, or some people, like to do, and I was actually just chatting with somebody online about people that like to get all of the different formations. I don't do that, and I'm not going to recommend doing that either, and that's not how I'm going to do it. I just don't find that for one thing, it's not helpful. I understand wanting to get a full rage list on Gao, but I don't find that necessary to to get every single different formation and so I don't know. I'm just not going to do that. I prefer to do efficiency, right? Like if I can get, let's just say, 3 different enemies all in one formation, I generally will go for that. That's not always the case, but yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit more when it becomes more relevant. Early on in the game, it's just not. And here I nuke the shell, so I eat a megavolt. Don't do that. Try to. The idea here is to not, attack the shell and eat counterattacks. But in here, it's especially if you're newer to the game, it's better to be safe than sorry. Just wait that if the I don't know, do like 3 attacks on the head and then take a break and heal, and then let his head pop back out, and then take out the head again. Generally, you want to use the Magitech missile because that's the more powerful of all of the different abilities here. Unfortunately, Terra is the only one that gets that, but yeah. Yeah. Anyways, back to Veldt stuff. Again, I'm not big on the get every single formation. I don't find that useful to me at all, and it actually is a detriment in some of the goals that I want to accomplish. But that said, early on here, especially these first, probably the formations for the first few videos, honestly, it's not that big of a deal if you get like excess formations. And why I say that is basically the enemies are sorted into packs, basically, right? So here's the were-rat and bandit. This is the enemy that I was worried, or I was I guess referring to earlier. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I think I said spritzer before. That's coming up. I think you do want to get the bandit were-rat here because again, it's more efficient. There's a lot of formations with just were-rats, and I'm going to try to actually avoid those because they don't really do me any good if I've already got a better formation here with a bandit and a were-rat. So again, that's kind of my take on the Veldt formations and stuff. And again, the good thing here is the early formations don't really matter that much, and you don't really need to worry that much about being I guess super efficient in which formations you get. It's probably not until around, I guess, it's probably Sabin scenario or Sabin scenario that I'm not sure how to say his name. I used to say Sabin back in the day, but I don't know if that's the right way to say it. So we'll see. I'll probably switch it up. Maybe we'll do Sabin for some. Maybe we'll do Sabin for some. But anyways, yeah, probably around his scenarios when we need to start, getting a little bit more careful about which formations we're picking up. So, all right, so this is the I think this is called Tritok now in this version. I haven't seen the name of this guy quite yet. But here this is an Esper, and the Espers, I don't know if I think they described that a little bit earlier. At the very beginning of the game, there was essentially a war between humans and Espers called the War of the Magi. And here we've found a frozen one here in the mines of Narsh. And so the Empire here was sent to, I don't know if it's just investigate or bring this thing back, but things obviously don't go according to plan, and the Esper frees Terra actually from, well, kind of frees her, not really, right? Excuse me. Arvis here, I think that's this guy's name, actually is, I think, the one that frees her from the slave crown that was controlling her. So the first thing that we're going to do is sneak by him and go steal his elixir from the clock. My mind, I've only just removed the crown. Yeah, so it's actually him that kind of frees Terra. The others were using it to control you. Indeed they were. I think at this point we get to name Terra as well here. It was robbing you of your thoughts. Can't remember a thing. Don't worry, it'll come back to you. Yeah, kind of interesting. So here's this is Terra. It's a young woman born with the gift of magic and enslaved by the Gestalian Empire. I think that there was I was reading a thread the other day about who people view the main character of the game is, and I think I'm in the camp that I don't think that there is one main character or hero, or however you want to look at that. Yeah, I think the question was main character. I think honestly the world of Bound, I'm gonna say it's two. I'm gonna say actually there's two main characters. One is Terra. Terra is what the game centers around in the first half of the game. The second half of the game is, I would say, Celeste is the hero, right? So, reason being, again, Terra is the focus of what all of the events of the first half of the game really revolve around. Things start to get a little bit, I guess the scope of the game get a little bit bigger towards the end of the first half, but I would still say that that's the case. And then the second half, I think nothing really happens if not for Celeste. I think she's the one that motivates, I mean, for one thing, herself, but all of the rest of the characters too. Kind of get back going with the team. So there's our formation that I wanted to get here. That was the what was that? Was that Spritzer? I missed it now already. Sorry about that. But yeah, try to grab that formation there, and I would say it's probably not. It's not a horrible idea if you want to, micromanage your Veldt formations here to start now. And any formation where you get, I think that just like the triple were rat is commonly found here as well. But I would just skip that. Spritzer Bandit. And again, we've already got the were rat picked up from earlier on. And so now I just needed that Spritzer as well. So I decided to go with that formation, and I think I actually did reload. That I should add, the quick save in this is a godsend. I mean, that The ability to basically just save anywhere on the map is amazing. That's really going to help us out, especially here with doing the the Veldt formations. I mean, it's just handy in general, but also to accomplish our goals here of keeping formation count low. With this slave crown, you'll be all mine. Okay, Kefka. This is the villain of the game, Kefka. Yeah, one of the best Final Fantasy villains in my opinion ever. His laugh is iconic. And then here, yeah. So this is basically just showing Terra slaughtering. The kind of funny thing here, though, is that she's not using her magic, I guess. I don't know if, like, she's supposed to because of... I guess maybe that makes sense because she's, has some, like, innate magical powers. Like, if she's better in the Magitech armor suits. And it actually does kind of seem that way, right? Because she's the only one that... I believe the only one that's got, like, the tech missile and stuff like that. But I don't know if that was because of... her magical power or not, but yeah, it does really just show, Kefka. I think this is where you get your first taste here of how villainous Kefka is. I think he's a genuine psychopath. Not just sociopath, right? I think he's a strict a psychopath because he enjoys. Basically bringing pain to others. So here's our second character. This is Locke. I really like Locke. In terms of power, the world of balance, he's actually really, really weak. But I like stealing. Just generally in any game I play, I like to be able to swipe stuff from enemies, and Locke is the guy to make that happen. So. He's also in a kind of a like low level challenge like we're doing here. He's really just a healer also, because once you've stolen, there's not really much else for him to do. He doesn't have any basically he gets completely outclassed by basically everybody else in the first half of the game for damage. And again, it's just because his tool set is stealing. He's a utility character. He's not a damage dealer, at least in the first half of the game. That changes a little bit later, but he also is he's important though because he's able to heal using items. We'll have to do that quite a bit, especially in this style here where we're trying to not level. And speaking of thieving or stealing, we're going to be doing quite a bit of that here in this sequence. The Mughals come down to help out, and I did this. Honestly, I think I would have actually liked to do this a little bit differently. I just don't think I needed to spend as much time here, but I don't know. It's tough to get this all done, and yeah, we don't have a whole lot. So here's the deal. We've got some. The problem here is I didn't want to, and this was just a goal of mine. I didn't want to gain any experience for one thing on Locke. That's probably a no-brainer. But also on Mog, I was a little concerned, and I don't know if it's the case, but I was a little concerned about gaining experience on Mog, being that I knew, excuse me, that the game was essentially saving all of the experience that I was gaining, specifically on Terra. I don't know if that is what's happening with Mog here as well. So I don't know if experience that you absorb here on Mog is carried over until later, but I just didn't even want to test that out, right? It is a long time before Mog rejoins you, and I did not want to, run into any issues with that. So again, I just didn't even risk it. One thing that you'll want to do here is put all of your Mogs, your Mughals, into the back row. Some of them actually have long-range weapons as well. So, like, they'll do the same amount of damage in the back row, but the fact that you just take so much less damage is really important. And that's generally the case for, I guess, this low-level playthrough, just in general. You really want to have your characters in the back row because you just take so much less damage. Now, here's where I start bringing in some of my other characters. I accidentally had auto battle going here, and I got... Oh, did I have to redo this? I bet I did. Maybe not. Oh, maybe not. We'll just see here. Oh, yeah. No. Okay, so I think I probably just tried to kill everybody off here. That's the only way to get around this, I think. Honestly, though, this was a mistake. I shouldn't have done this. Should have probably gone all the way down to the bottom to fight the boss or the guard leader, however you want to look at that. And then just probably try to steal everything. But either way, I once I kind of caught... Oh, yeah, I did. I reloaded this then. Yeah, that's my bad. So, we'll just return to the title screen. We're going to do this a lot where, if we absorb experience on accident, like I did there, we'll just go back to the title screen and do it again. So yeah, there you have the first mistake made of the game. And trust me, there'll be plenty more. But yeah, so the idea here is also that what I wanted to do is try to clear out a lot of the enemies, and this group here is the one to do it because so Mog is in a group with 3 other Moogles, and then there's these 4, and these 4 are just generic, semi-generic Moogles, and we can absorb as much experience with them as we want because it's not going to change anything. So that was my plan here, was to kind of take out a lot of the enemies here with this group, and then to run around with Locke and try to steal. One kind of interesting thing here too is that these battles, when you die, you don't get a game over. And that is actually pretty slick because that's going to let us keep stealing with Locke over and over and over. And I did actually quite a bit here. The problem is the what are these things? The Megalidoth pretty much is always going to snowstorm. I think it's probably impossible to not have him do it once. I mean, I guess maybe there if Cosmog is, gets his turn almost immediately and then crits or something with that weapon that he's got, then maybe, but it's not likely that that's going to happen. And so you're going to be taking a ton of damage across all of your Moogles, every fight that you mess around with that. So that said, it's probably better to just not do that and not, I guess not clear out too many of these. If you can, it's probably better to just rush the boss and just kill him. I messed around here. I stole a bunch of stuff. I stole a bunch of potions. I cleared everything out. And then I stole from the boss as well. The boss has a mithril knife though, and that's junk. It honestly isn't going to help you at all. You're not going to be really fighting with anybody with that knife. So yes, there's just no reason to do that. So again, I would say don't even bother. Of course, I'm going to have footage here of me doing exactly that. So again, this is going to be more of a, do as I say, not as I do sort of deal, as as often is the case. But yeah, again, I would say save yourself a bunch of time and just rush the boss. It can be a little bit tough. And it does help a little bit if you farmed up prior to this with Biggs and Wedge, right? You can run back and forth in that in the mine area and just nuke the enemies down, and then use heal force, to keep yourself going. But even I didn't want to do that. I didn't find that it was was really worth the time. And then on top of that, again, I wanted to keep my Veldt formations to a minimum. So yeah. So yeah, not my favorite way to do this, but here this is me trying to get more potions and stuff, and to some success there. The problem, obviously, so we're all at 1 health, and that guy's gonna snowstorm right away every single time. But Locke is so fast that sometimes he can sneak a steal in there. And that's why this is actually not so bad. Again, if you want to try to... There, I got unlucky and got swiped by the wolf right away. But yeah, this is generally what I did for quite a while here. I wanted to also steal a bunch of potions just so that I'd have a little bit more of a stockpile for, later. We're going to be using a ton of healing items. So it's not the worst thing ever to swipe some extra potions here. Honestly, though, it's probably better to... actually, it's probably better to, clear all this stuff out. I guess technically then you kind of have to do that. You're more likely to be able to steal from the boss fight, though, because of the snowstorm thing. Again, it's just tough to sneak in a steal there before that guy uses snowstorm. And at least with the boss fight, you've got a really good chance of just straight up dodging. It's 2 wolves and then... like the guard leader guy. Here, this was a mistake. I don't know why I moved everybody into the front row. I shouldn't have done that. And this is going to look a little bit weird, too, because I think there's a lot more of these enemies that are still alive, and I'm not really sure why I cut this in here, but regardless, this was kind of the strategy, though, right, was to, oh, yeah, I just moved him back. So that Cosmog there is the hero. He's got that long range weapon again, and so he actually does really, really good damage in that back row. Also, wow, I can't believe I didn't point this out already. Find Mog and unequip him. He's got a really good spear and a really good shield. That shield is going to be solid for probably a couple hours worth of playtime. So. Steal that. Take it from him. He doesn't need it. He's not doing anything anyway. So, all right. So, anyways, we're getting close to the end. Again, I apologize. This sequence ended up getting really, really long because of, just kind of showing you guys what I was doing here, and again, trying to stock up on potions a bit. But we're getting close to the end. Fear not. We're almost there. So, here I think I ran out and stole like. Once or twice more, and then I called it a day, and yeah, just getting nuked right away. And that's unfortunately going to happen quite a bit. Also, obviously, don't let the monsters get to Terra, otherwise you lose. So there, you been warned. So, all right, I think is this the last time I steal? Let's just see here. I know I'm close. Again, I apologize for that. I probably could have cut out some of this footage a little bit better, but yeah, here we go. I think this is where I heal up for the last time, and then we'll take this last enemy down. I think I did steal from the boss, though. I wanted to get some footage cut in of that as well. So that'll be coming right up here. I promise. We're almost done, guys. Excuse me. So, yeah, I did this a couple of years ago, and I actually got really excited about some of the changes that they made. I actually did already a video of the changes in specifically the low level game or perfect stats, however you want to look at that. Yeah, I guess it's more of the perfect stats aspect of there. I made a weird cut. I don't know why I did that, but I think I just stole a couple of these knives. Again, I honestly don't think that it's super important to do this. They're not worth a whole lot, and you're probably never going to swing them if you're doing a low level guide or low level game or perfect stats, however you want to say it. But whatever, I couldn't resist, right? The thief in me, I suppose. So all right, anyways, let's we're gonna heal up here. I think this is technically the last time I heal, and then I'm gonna go knock this guy out. So we'll just save, and I don't know why I was moving Cosmog around there. He's fine in the back row. So here you don't want to take Locke, and you don't want to take or I didn't want to take Mog here either. It's possible though that would have been fine. I just don't know, and also again, this was a bad idea to move everybody to the front row, because then he just starts one-shotting people. Oh, yeah. This might actually be a fail here. He stopped Cosmog in the back there. Yeah, and then charged him down. Yeah, I think I had to redo this. So this is, again, what not to do. This is it's gotta be. He hits so hard, and the extra damage that you get by being in the front row isn't worth it. It's better to just leave everybody in the back so that you're not getting a one shot. So let's try that again. But yeah, so anyways, like I was saying there, I did a full, I guess a guide on the specific changes to the low level. I should more say perfect stats, because I don't know what people constitute as a low level game anymore, and how far they go with it. But there's a certain point in the game where I diverge from any sort of like low level challenge, because I'm just doing it for the stats, and it just so happens that a low level game, essentially you do the same thing as a perfect stats game, at least for a little while. And then here, I don't know why did I left everybody in the front again. Whatever, must have worked out. So but yeah, we're all right, we're getting towards the end here. Yeah, boy, this must have been tight. Yeah, I think this other guy in the front row gets whacked. Yep. And then here Cosmog finishes him off. Look at that. Soul Survivor. What a baller. And then we got a high potion as well. So that's a decent-ish reward. We need every little healing item we can possibly get. So thanks, Moogles. We're in your debt. And Locke collects Terra here. And I would say, again, be careful here. I think I quick saved as soon as I could. I didn't want to get into another battle on the way out here. There's often, I should say, you'll commonly run into the 3 were-rats. And again, I didn't want that formation added to my Veldt pack list, I guess. I think that's probably the correct terms. And then here, yeah, so Terra is, obviously suffering from some either memory loss or time loss. Is it really amnesia? No, I can't remember if it's if it's truly amnesia, or if she's just got kind of like a memory block from the time that the slave crown was put on her. So, there I didn't even save. I just walked right out the door, so that was risky. I could have ended up with a formation that I didn't want. So we're gonna head on in here. There's the quick save. Oh, check the barrels. There's nothing there. But then here I did come into the what is this? The beginner adventuring school, I guess is what they're calling it in this one, or this version. The bucket there is a full restore. Definitely grab that. That chest in the upper left-hand corner there is a monster in the box. So do not open that. And then there's, like a pot up in the upper right-hand corner of that first room had, I already missed what item that was, probably a potion or something, right? And then we've got, this is like a sleeping bag, I think, or no, I'm sorry, potion and maybe, I don't know, Phoenix Down or something like that. So grab those treasures and head on out. But wow, I'm out of time. So, I hope this guide was helpful. I'm going to keep knocking these out here. They're a little intense, but, anyways, I hope they were at least informative and, gives you a good idea of what, my plan is going forward. So, all right. Thanks for watching.